Hi friends, this is the writing lesson for second grade. Today we are going to edit and revise our rough drafts from yesterday. So you will need your rough draft. You will need this pink sheet that I sent home in your last distribution. On one side it says revising checklist, and on the other side it says editing checklist. It is in a plastic cover, so you can use a whiteboard marker. If you can't find this, you can print it off of Canvas. It is in our module for today. And you will need a pencil. And if you're using your editing and revising checklist in a sheet protector, you'll need a whiteboard marker. So let's go over our checklist before we start actually doing it. So on our revising checklist, this is checking to make sure that our writing makes sense. Okay, it makes sense and it has everything that it needs to have. We're not necessarily looking at spelling or capitals or anything like that when we are revising. So the first thing I want to know is, did you tell about one topic? Did you include specific details about the time, the place, and the people involved? So this should all be with your topic sentence. Did you have a beginning, middle, and end? So did you have that little introduction section? Did you have your middle part with the details? And did you have your closing, your how did you feel? Did you include time order words and phrases? So did you include first, next, then, after that, last, all of a sudden, finally, suddenly, things like that? Does your story sound as if you're telling it to a friend? So if you were to record yourself telling the story to someone, would it sound similar to your writing? Did you use describing words like adjectives and adverbs, describing how something was done or what something looked like? Did you write with complete sentences? Okay, so did you take from your brainstorm to your story and make it a complete sentence? And did you use short and long sentences so it doesn't sound so robotic when we read? So that's what we're going to be looking for when we revise. When we edit, this is where we look for all those mistakes like spelling and punctuation. So did you capitalize the first word in each sentence? Did you capitalize any proper nouns like Disneyland? That is a proper noun. Did you put an ending punctuation mark after each sentence? So periods, question marks, exclamation points. I know I have all three of those in mine. And did you check your spelling by using a dictionary? And I know that you might not have a dictionary at home. You can ask a parent to help you check your spelling. That's probably the best way to do it for virtual learning, or making sure that you're sounding out the words correctly. So what you're going to do first is you're going to go through and you're going to read your story. And I really encourage you to read it out loud. The reason I want you to read it out loud is because when you read it out loud, you hear the mistakes better. And I don't know why that is necessarily, but I've watched you guys do it on Zoom. You'll read something out loud to me, like an answer, and then you'll be like, wait, that's not right. I didn't do that right. So step number one, read your story out loud. Okay, the whole thing. Once you've done that, you can go through your checklist. So I'm going to read my story out loud, and I'm going to pause the video and do that. Okay, so now that I've read it out loud, I have to go through my checklist. Did I talk about one topic? Yes. Going on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Did I include specific details about the time, the place, and the people? Well, here's the time in January 2019. Here are the people, Matt and Abby, and the place, Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Shanghai Disneyland. So yes, I did those three things. Did I write a beginning, a middle, and an end? So I look, here is my first paragraph. If you forgot to indent, all you have to do is make a little arrow in the margin, and that'll remind me and remind you that you need to indent when you do your final copy. Here's my middle section, my details. And then here is my ending. So yes, I did that. Did I include time order phrases? So I'm going to go back through and I'm going to look at my time order phrase. While you are looking at your time order phrases, make sure they have commas after them, okay? So when we got on the ride, comma. Suddenly, comma. While we were underwater. Oh, I forgot a comma there. And I also noticed I did not capitalize this W right there. So I'm going to do that right now. That's part of my editing, but it's okay if I do it right now. Let's see. Then our boat gets sucked up. Oops, I forgot a comma right there. And I also forgot a period. So I'm going to add that right now. Again, that's part of our editing, but it's okay. If you see a mistake, fix it right then. I'm going to keep going. All of a sudden, comma, after that, comma, finally, comma. So yes, did I include time order phrases? I did. Does your story sound as if you're telling it to a friend? So I read my story and I do think it sounds like I'm telling it to a friend. And if it doesn't, then think about what might you add? Maybe some more details, maybe some more time order words. Did you use describing words like adjectives and adverbs? So let's see. I know that I do have some adjectives in here. Giant octopus, creepy mermaids. And then let's see. I know that I say all of a sudden we got splashed with water. Well, I remember that water being so cold. So I'm going to add that adjective, cold water. We saw David Jones and Jack Sparrow battling, and then our boat started traveling back in the dark. I'm going to add right here, cool, dark air, because I just remember it being cold in there and dark and you couldn't see anything and it kind of felt like there was a breeze, okay? And maybe I'll add at the end of after dock, safely. And of course, you know it's a ride, so you're going to arrive safely, but that tells us that maybe I was a little scared. So yes, did I use some describing words? I did. And if you didn't, add them in. You saw me, I had some, and then I added some in. Not a big deal. Did I write with complete sentences? Yes, I noticed that when I was reading it out loud. And did I use long and short sentences? Yes, I did. Okay, now I'm going to go back and I want to see, did I capitalize the first word in each sentence? So I'm literally going to go through and look at the beginning of each one of my sentences. So let's do that now. So here's my first sentence. There is a capital. My next sentence, in, capitalized. My next sentence, when, it is capitalized. Suddenly, capitalized. I fixed my W, that one's capitalized. Then I have then, that's capitalized. All, capitalized. After, capitalized. And finally, capitalized. And then this is capitalized and I is capitalized. So it looks like I got all of the capitals for the beginning of my sentences, but we're not done checking our capitals yet. So now our next one, and I have to check this off, is did I capitalize my proper nouns? So proper nouns, anything that is a specific name of a place, of a person, and don't forget, I always gets capitalized as well. And you probably have a lot of I's because this is a story about yourself. So let's see. Have you ever been on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride? So my Pirates needs to be capitalized and Caribbean needs to be capitalized. And I'm going to actually erase that C because it doesn't look capitalized to me. Okay, in January, January is a proper noun. It's the name of a month, so that needs to be capitalized. So if you have any sort of date, like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or a month, those need to be capitalized. I wrote on the Pirates, that needs to be capitalized, Caribbean, at Shanghai Disney. Oh, my goodness gracious. I forgot to do Shanghai Disneyland. So if you are talking about a ride at Disneyland, I know some of you did that, make sure those are capitalized. With Matt and Abby. So both of those are capitalized. Now I'm going to kind of go through this, and I know that I talk about Davy Jones. So that is someone's name. So that needs to be capitalized, but nothing else on that side. And then I know we continue, and I say we a lot, so we doesn't get capitalized. Now I have Jack Sparrow. Oops, I forgot to capitalize. Sparrow and Davy Jones, that one's capitalized. And then we continue, and that is it. So now my last paragraph, I want to make sure my I's are capitalized. So I have ever been on, I hope, I get, and then my Shanghai Disneyland. Those are all capitalized. So I had to go through each sentence to make sure that my proper nouns were capitalized. And even Mrs. Peterson, who's a teacher, forgot some capitals. So I know you probably did too. All right, the next one is an ending punctuation mark. So I need to go through each of my sentences again and make sure I have my ending marks. So here's my question mark, my next sentence, a period. When we got on the ride, everything seemed normal, period. Next sentence, period. Next sentence, period. Let's see, next sentence, there's my period. Period, looking at each sentence individually, there's my period. And lastly, my other period. But actually, I'm going to cross out that period and I'm going to put it after safely because that's going to be my last word. And then in my closing paragraph, I have 2 exclamation points. So you might also have 2 exclamation points, or you might just have periods. All right, and last, you need to go through and check your spelling. Like I said, you can have a parent help you check your spelling. That might be the easiest way since it's pretty hard since we're not in the classroom. I normally would help you with your spelling. And then once you do that, you are done editing and revising. Now, when you are done editing and revising, that means that your paper is ready to be published. So it should be perfect with no mistakes. All right, my friends, that is it for our writing lesson today. Please take your time as you go through and you revise and edit your paragraph. Actually, not just paragraph, your writing, because there's 3 different paragraphs. If you need any help at any time, log on to Zoom and I can help you. Great job, friends. We'll see you later.